Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's August 1st, 2013. To my left is Logan Burgess and I'm Brock Shimano. We see the outside market sharply higher today. Commodity markets are heading in a different direction. Let's start with a fire tip to see how we ended today. Old crop corn was down 11.5 cents. New crop down 12 cents. Old crop soybeans off 15.5. New crop down 13 3/4. Wheat in Chicago down 6 1/4. And Kansas City was unchanged on the day. You know, Logan, we did see considerable weakness again in the commodity markets. So what's your take on what's going on here today?
You know, I think specifically looking at the grains here, we saw some weather expectations come out today at midday that really called for near ideal growing conditions here over the next 2 weeks. I certainly think that weighed on the new crop contracts today. Adding on to that weakness was a dollar index, which surged higher for the biggest up move to the upside that we've seen there in about a month. Seemed like some outside macro forces and some language from the Fed were both helping that dollar index move higher. Let's take a look, though, in particular at the DEES-13 corn contract. Certainly pressing some new lows with the close here today. Last trade, as you said, Brock, was at 467. And as you can see here is a daily candlestick chart of that DEES-13 contract. You know, we've been getting a lot of calls in the office here wondering how low this DEES-13 corn contract could go in the near term. And we have seen some pretty substantial selling, and we think there's some technical areas of support that are going to be met soon. If you take a look at this chart here, the yellow line is detailing a low that we saw printed on this contract back in November of 2010. The price area there was 462, so that should act as support. Additionally, we see these Bollinger Bands here. We're really at the low side of the recent trade range. And here, looking at the last several months worth of price action, those Bollinger Bands have acted to do a pretty good job of projecting kind of the range that this contract has been trading. If you want to take a look at these Bollinger Bands for yourself, you can visit us over at grainhedge.com and take a no-obligation trial of the platform we're using here. But bottom line, Brock, I think we will see a little bit of a rebound in DEES-13. Certainly could come tomorrow as people close out positions on a Friday. Turning gears here over to soybeans, what's kind of your take there?
You know, soybeans we've really been selling off substantially here. If we take a look at the daily chart for the November contract, you can see over the last couple of weeks you've had a substantial sell-off in this November contract. You know, I'm looking at support right now. I was looking at it the last couple of days here at about $12. We broke through that with pretty good conviction here today. Ended substantially lower than the $12 mark. I'm looking at support now at that low that we hit back in late April of this year. Around 1186 is where we're going to find that low. You know, we're only a few cents above that here at the close. 1192.5 is where we close here today. We did test it. We went down to 1189 here, but that's going to be an area we're going to want to watch. If we end up breaking below that, we could fall as low as 1150 right now, which would be the next area of support that I'd be watching. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, though, like you were saying, though, we're coming to the weekend. If some profits are taken tomorrow, we get a little bit of a short covering rally tomorrow heading into the weekend or even on Monday. But, you know, over the longer term, I'm going to be looking at 1186 and then 1150 for support. Yeah,
you know, certainly it seemed like the weakness today in the grain market was pretty widespread. You know, corn, soybeans, and wheat all closing pretty substantially lower here today. We did get the export sales report out today, Brock. Certainly, you know, looking at the action that we saw, it doesn't seem like a lot of numbers there to support the trade.
You know, we did get some pretty good numbers here today. I think a lot of what we did see was already baked into the market, and most of them coming in the new crop totals. Let's take a look at the numbers here. If we look at wheat, 596,000 metric tons were sold, and that was right within analyst expectations. Corn, 134,000 on the old crop, over 1 million metric tons on the new crop, well above analyst expectations there. Soybeans, 78,000 metric tons on the old crop and over 1 million metric tons on the new crop as well. But like I said, we really didn't see the support come into the market as I think the outside influences were really pushing us lower. Higher dollar index was actually pushing us down. But let's take a look at where we stand for this marketing year. You can see here on this corn chart, the red line is the seasonal pace to meet the current USDA projections. We did meet that line here this week, and on the year we're about 13 million bushels ahead. We have just a few more weeks to report before the end of the marketing year, so we could see some revisions coming down the line from the USDA. As far as soybeans is concerned, we have had pretty poor sales over the last part of the marketing year here, but this week we did meet the seasonal pace to meet the current USDA projections, and on the year we're still about 34 million bushels ahead to meet that current USDA projection, so we could see a revision coming down the line from the USDA there as well.
Yeah, certainly. Well, if any revisions do come down the line, those will be released in the August 12th WASDE report. Certainly that could be a big day for the grain market. It seems like in today's action as well, weighing on a little bit of things, were expectations for the USDA to possibly raise yield expectations in that report, just given the weather outlook here. Certainly weather over the next couple weeks is going to help dictate that. We'll keep you posted on that here on GrainTV. In general, though, that's what we saw here for a Thursday in the grain market. A lot of weakness. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you then.